profit taking against the euro and yen, you suggest?
Yes, I think there's a possibility of both of those. I think from the euro, there is a lot of negativity already priced in, although having said that, we'd still be very nervous that we could well see further retreats in the euro over time, but it may be the case that you just see a little bit of consolidation through the course of this week. And of course, it's not only the Fed this week, but we do get the BOJ, and I think there is going to be some suspicion that although policy is going to remain unchanged, including that yield curve control threshold, in the context of those threats to look at or to talk about intervention that were really swirling around last week, that might just encourage a little bit of taking off the table some of these fairly sizable yen shorts. So maybe the case that we do see a little bit of a dip back towards the sort of 142 area, but if we see that, I think that still will provide some value in terms of the bias that Treasury JGB spreads are still going to push wider. And until the energy prices move substantially lower, there is still going to be a degree of trade pressure on the broader yen backdrop.
So just explain to me what you expect to hear from Kuroda if indeed he does stand firm coming out of this. And the next level for dollar yen, given we see dollar yen testing 145, you expect it to moderate from here or continue to stay volatile?
Well, I think staying volatile is most likely. I think Mr. Kuroda, of course, is coming towards the end of his tenure at the BOJ. So that, of course, concludes at the end of the first quarter. So it seems most likely that he will aim or intend to keep policy essentially very easy between now and the end of that tenure. So that probably does suggest that even if we do see a degree of consolidation in the shorter term, it is still going to be a story that through the course of the rest of this year is going to be biased towards dips proving to be relatively shallow and probably interest to try and squeeze back higher. And I think it's only into the end of this year and into the start of 2023 when we see a more definitive turn in terms of the upside potential in terms of US yields, and we see that impacting Treasury JGB spreads. Can we see a move lower and maybe a move back towards 140 by the end of the year? But I think in the nearer term, dips will be relatively short-lived. We will continue to see interest to try and push back higher. But it's perceived, or at least the market perceives, that perhaps 145 could be something of a line in the sand, although I think it's a little bit too aggressive to assume that the BOJ will be actively trying to defend that specific level. But I think it's going to be a case of moving back higher, but then looking for those Treasury JGB spreads to start to moderate into next year. And that could be a start of a turn in the cycle as far as this dollar yen uptrend.